Hey you guys, welcome back. I've been sitting here just finished editing a video, waiting to make it go live here, and I've been seeing some stuff on the timeline about the Canucks locker room and just really how bad it is. It's obviously to be expected that it's bad with everything going on, the whole JT Miller outbursts, all the rumors about him, Bo Horvat probably getting traded and just his contract talk and all that kind of stuff, as well as Bruce Boudreau knowing that he's most likely not staying a Vancouver Canuck. So all of this locker room stuff is kindly surfing. All this locker room stuff is finally just like surfacing here, and people are starting to realize and get some insight on how the Canucks locker room really is and how the vibes are in there. Apparently it's not very good. So I want to talk about some tweets here that I've seen put out about the Canucks locker room and just kind of reflect on it, because if you think about it, it definitely wouldn't be good vibes in there knowing that anyone could be traded, knowing this whole entire team is not going to look the same this time next year or even just at the end of the season. No one knows where this team's going. No one knows if this team's trying to compete, if they're going to make trades to compete, if this team wants to rebuild. Nobody knows what the future of the Vancouver Canucks are. Us fans don't either, so I definitely don't expect the players to. But let's take a look at some of these tweets here about the Canucks locker room and just everything that's going on today. So the first one here was posted on Twitter by _BuckFaustin_, and it's a quote from Elliotte Friedman. And Elliotte Friedman says, "I think that Canucks dressing room is shell-shocked. I really do believe that. It's been a season of story after story. The fact that Horvat is going, Boudreau has been held on edge for a while. I think those players are mentally wiped," which makes perfect sense, kind of like what I already mentioned. Nobody knows what's going on. They know their head coach is probably out. I think the players are finally just done with it. You know what I mean? They're just sick and tired of this. They just want to move on. They don't want to be hearing about all these rumors anymore. They want to have a direction to go to. Speaking of direction, there's another tweet posted. This is another quote from Friedman on the Canucks dressing room, and he says, this is another quote from Friedman on the Canucks locker room, and he says, "Those players know there's a lot of people going, and the team won't be the same," kind of like what I mentioned earlier. "I think these players just want it to end. I saw a team that last night that was like, just let us know where we're going." Talking about how the Canucks played against the New York Islanders, where they just seemed like they have no identity. They didn't know what the team's doing. They just didn't look like they were out there giving it their all at all. There's another quote. He says, "I think the Canucks dressing room is shell-shocked. I really do believe that. It has been a season of story after story after story," which is absolute just facts. I do, however, feel really bad for the players. As much as it's frustrating as a Canucks fan, I can only imagine how frustrating it is for some of these players to have to go through this and just have to deal with all of this. I'm sure it's an absolute pain for them, and I'm sure they don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, they want to come to their work, I guess, and practice and stuff and be happy and know that their job's probably secure. They know which way the team's going. They know they're trying to get better. All of this, whether they're trying to get better to make the playoffs or they know they're just trying to be the best team they can while they rebuild, whatever it may be, I think they definitely just want they just want direction on what in the world is going on here, because I think they're just as fed up as most of us fans are with the uncertainty and the unknown. These new GMs that have come into Vancouver, everyone, Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin, everyone else, they haven't done anything. They got Ethan Bear, like, that's great. They made maybe a few minor signings. Ilya Mikheyev is one of them. Kuzmenko obviously is a great one, but like, they haven't done a lot to this core. They haven't done anything to cement themselves into this team now. It's basically the team's on autopilot right now, it feels like, and nothing's happening. They're just told to go out there and play, and whatever happens, happens. There's no direction on what's going on with this team at all. And the new GMs have not helped with that at all. They've not made any trades to really show where this team's supposed to be going. I get it, trades are hard right now in the NHL. I understand that. But, I mean, they got to do something, in my opinion, because there's just nothing going on. Speaking of trades being hard, there is another post here from Rick Dhaliwal quoting what Elliotte Friedman had to say again, and he says, "I'm not saying no, but the Canucks have set a limit. Horvat is going to have to take a haircut." I'm sure it's just a percentage, really weird wording there, on what he could get on the market. Is going to take an unbelievable offer from Van, and I do not see it. And I have to agree, I also don't see it. I think Bo Horvat's just asking too much for what the Vancouver Canucks can offer, but also there's no trades going on out there, so no one's trading, which is just going to make things even tougher when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks. Not sure what they're going to be able to do with Bo Horvat. Signing is most likely not happening, but also trades are very limited right now, and it's hard to make hockey deals in the NHL right now, so I'm very interested. But on a positive note, Chris Faber did tweet something about the Canucks practice, which is a little bit uplifting, a little bit positive. He says, upbeat scrimmage here at Canucks practice. Luke Schenn just threw 2 massive hits on Jack Studnicka. One almost sent Studnicka into the bench. Classic Luke Schenn. Kyle Burrows then with a big hit on Ilya Mikheyev. Some anger being let out here at practice, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. You did see it. Obviously, this is completely like different circumstances, but you did see it with St. Louis when they were last in the league when their cup run, and there was a fight breaking out in practice, and then they went on to win the cup. I'm not saying the Canucks are going to go out and win the cup, but I'm saying there's nothing wrong with letting out practice and being competitive in practice. I think if you're competitive in practice, it'll also translate into the game. So it's really good to see that they are letting out some anger. It would be nice to see them do that in the games, of course, but it is nice to see that they're having a competitive practice. That's good. But all in all, I can understand how this locker room is just absolute cancer fest right now. I can see things just being terrible in that locker room, and I do feel really bad for the players. Obviously, it's not their fault that they're in this situation. Obviously, it's some players' faults doing some things wrong. But at the end of the day, the lack of direction is not the players' fault whatsoever, and it's just unfair in my opinion. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the Canucks locker room situation, about the Canucks situation in Hull. As we get more information, obviously I'm going to talk more about my team. They're my favorite team. I got a lot to talk about, so you will be seeing some more videos. There's going to be another video either later today or tomorrow about JT Miller and my whole thoughts on that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you guys are new, it'd mean a lot if you subscribed. Like the video if you enjoyed. I'll talk to you next one. Peace.